Well, it's a new year, and with that comes new resolutions. And one of the more common resolutions for all of us is always around money and work. So here with us in studio today is interior designer Dylan Tomaj, and he's here to discuss how you can create the perfect office and workspace to help us achieve these goals. Dylan, it's so great to have you back.
It's good to see you again.
Well, listen, it is nice to be back. People are back at work. I'm looking at Instagram and people are posting their workspaces, and I'm looking at some of these people. I'm like, oh my goodness, if I had that workspace, I'd be so creative. There must be some relationship between the space you work in and the creativity that goes with it.
It's completely true, and I think what really matters is what type of space you're in. So if you're in a very light and bright space, it makes you feel far more productive, exactly what you just said. And if it's dark and there's no natural light, it's going to make you feel quite gloomy and counterproductive. So I think a lot of companies look for the natural light element and look for like cleaner spaces that has that ability to just bring out the best in you, right?
I like that.
Yeah.
I think light is very, very important. Now, when it comes to creating the mood for your office space, what looks can we go for, keeping in mind the awesome furniture that Coricraft has for the office?
So I think there's quite a few looks that we can look at. So we could look at a trestle table look, which is quite a classic look, which makes it feel a lot more relaxed and a little bit more easy living.
And it's not such a big desk because it's a relatively narrow.
Yes. So it could fit in quite a few spaces, but what I really love about it is it makes the space feel light and airy because of the glass element, which is really important. And as you can see in the image here, just adding a bit of a daybed to it really just makes it feel quite sophisticated, and you can like lie there and read a book after you've done all your emails, and it's quite a creative space.
It really gives you a calming element. Now, for someone that wants to move away from a glass table and maybe go for a wooden desk, how would we incorporate that? Oh, this is beautiful.
It is quite a great setup, and I think this is also great for home study, especially with people that have smaller spaces. What this does is it also makes you feel almost like writer-like, right? So you can go write your novel and that sort of thing. But you can also store your books, and what I think is really important, because a lot of people collect things, and the spaces that you're in should really inspire you. So things that you put on your shelving and the stuff that you have on your desk really should promote, you know, the next thought process that you might go with, I think.
Yeah, and when it comes to, I mean, we're taking a look at industries and what this office space is best suited to them. But, you know, I think people that are creative, they obviously want something that will spark creativity. But what are the different industries in terms of office space that can best suit them?
So I think we need to look at it in two ways. So like a creative industry, which I think is quite generic, and then you have the more corporate industry. So that's going to be lots of big desks that are all in single files, and it almost looks like a bit of a sausage factory. But where creative space is really nice is it almost feels like your lounge. And I think that's where a lot of people thrive, because there's lots of natural light, couches, and you can see here what's really nice is you have a very clean, sophisticated desk, and it just really brings out the best in your thought process, which I think is really important in any industry.
Yeah, I've seen my sister, she works in an office space where they've got bean bags, and it's basically that laptop desk where you your lap is your desk, and you put your laptop there, and it just sparks creativity because they've got bean bags everywhere. So it really, really brings out a lot from people.
Yeah, and I think what's really nice about that is it makes it quite informal. So a lot of people, when they're more relaxed, their thought process is a lot better. And I think that's what's really important with this type of environment where you have bean bags or you have a couch and a table that's really in close proximity, so that the conversation really flows, especially when you have meetings and stuff like that.
And for people that tend to be in a crowded space, I mean, what's the best way for them to really make their office, even though they've just got a desk in a shared environment, how can they still make sure that this is their office space?
So this is a really interesting question, because I like neat spaces, as you do, and so when there's lots of clutter, it feels a bit too much. But I think when people want to make their space their own, I think it's just keeping it simple, just, you know, like books that inspire you, or maybe a plant that you love, but nothing too over the top, because I think what happens is without you realizing, it becomes quite cluttered. And when it's cluttered, it just affects the way you process your thoughts and stuff like that. So I would rather stick to less, from a personalized point of view, than trying to over-personalize it, where it's like, this is my desk and, you know, you can't really touch it.
My station. But I'm looking at these images and they're absolutely beautiful. I see what you mean with keeping it simplistic, especially if it comes to the desk, and just really to spark that creativity and productivity at the end of the day.
Yeah, and Coricraft's offering is really, really great, and you can see it really fulfills the different thought process for people, where you're very creative or you could be quite corporate. It really does fulfill that process, which I think is amazing.
It's absolutely amazing. Well, Dylan Tomaj, thank you for joining joining us this morning. And if you were looking for all of the inspiration you needed to make sure that you are super duper productive this year, well, we are here to help you. And to get the best start to your new year, Coricraft is gifting one lucky viewer with one of their beautiful new desks. Now, all you need to do to enter is you need to comment on our latest Coricraft Instagram post with your work-based New Year's resolution and which desk you think would help you get back to work. The competition will close on February the 4th. Those T's and C's do apply. And in addition to this, Coricraft is also running an amazing in-store deals on their new range of desks to help you start your 2019 off the right way.